All right, so we had a chance to chat a little beforehand.
We did.
Before we were on camera, and I found out you're from Eastman, Georgia.
I am. Born and raised.
Right.
Woo-hoo!
And did you sing in Georgia? I mean, tell me about your early, how'd you get into this?
You know, the funny thing is, it sounds cliche, but I really kind of don't remember not doing this. And I'm very lucky in that regard because I think my mama always says that music and particularly singing and performing was something I had an interest in.
Yeah.
And I was very blessed that I had parents that encouraged that. And not only encouraged it, but were very proactive in going out and doing anything they could possibly do to help me turn it into a craft and hone that craft and go to voice lessons and perform at pageants and sing the national anthem at all the Memorial Day services and the football games. And I really not only had parents that encouraged me, but I had a church family that encouraged me, and I also had a community that gave me opportunities to perform. And so I got really lucky. I love being on stage, and I think it's because I've been on stage since as long as I can remember. It feels very comfortable to me. It feels like home. So I think I was 4 years old the first time I ever performed. Now, this is a hoot. So, in my hometown, we had a Christian bookstore that used to carry all kinds of karaoke tapes. For the songs that you would perform in church. But they also had a few country ones, and the Tanya Tucker one was my favorite. Don't get it twisted. Right. So, I had the Tanya tapes, and the Juice Newton tapes, and I would had a karaoke machine and would put on little concerts in the living room. And when I was 4, about 1989, I got to entertain at a local pageant. I didn't want to be in the pageant. I wanted to sing as entertainment. And my mama bought me the karaoke tracks to Sweet Nothings by Brenda Lee. And my grandmother went and bought me a little pageant dress, and that was the first time I was ever on stage with a microphone performing in front of a crowd. And my mama's got it all on VHS, and if you called her, she'd probably show it to you. So there's that too. But I'm very lucky because I grew up in a house full of really great music, and had a very supportive family that once they saw that I was passionate about it and loved it and enjoyed it, they really supported me. I'm real blessed.
And then you went to Six Flags, right?
Oh yeah, now that was, talk about all throughout high school performing. And actually a really funny thing, a part of my vocal training that my parents kind of helped me fall into was classical vocal training. I'm actually a classically trained vocalist, and a lot of people go, well, really hear that much in your voice now, but when you learn how to sing healthily like that, if you can sing classical music, you're going to be a healthy singer no matter what genre you're singing. So that training has really served me well over the years. But after I graduated high school and went to college and ended up getting a job out at Six Flags, y'all, which was great. Singing and dancing in the shows out there, it really teaches you a lot about discipline. And if you really want to make a livelihood out of it, you got to have some discipline. It also teaches you humility too, because we were doing our own laundry backstage, doing our own makeup, wearing uniforms, and really sweating, and not the best conditions all the time, but it was seriously some of the best years of my life. It really was. And it taught me a lot about myself and a lot about, what it means to really be a professional and what you have to do to make it happen.
Yeah, because it's not easy.
It ain't easy, but it's a heck of a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I sometimes miss it, and I would love to go back in a heartbeat.
Yeah. So, and then you you left performance for a while, and you went with CMT, right?
I did. Now, that was one of those life-changing moments. I was in Atlanta in college and was working out at Six Flags, and was also working on a record at the time with a really great producer friend of mine that I've written with, and written some really great songs I'm proud of. And I decided at some point it was just time for me to come to Nashville. And my direction, my musical heart and spirit, everything was just being pulled up here. And so when I moved to Nashville, I was working about 3 different jobs at the same time, trying to pay my bills and kind of getting into a new circle, because you kind of do have to start over a little bit. You get in a new mix of writers and new venues. And I, at the time, had a real good friend that was working at CMT in radio. And I was sort of looking for a more steady side gig while I was working on my music and networking. And she's like, hey, I'm about to, leave my position and go for my dream. You should send in, some radio air checks and see if you can maybe make this happen. And while I was in college and high school too, on the side, I would do some voiceovers for a local marketing company. so I had a little bit of that radio background.
Right.
So I just made, y'all, I don't think I've ever told anybody this, I made some fake radio air checks. I shouldn't tell people that, but I did, and I turned them in and met the great team at CMT Radio. Jean Williams was the director of the department at the time, and I got to give full props to her. She totally took a chance on me.
Right.
And hired me. I was going to move back home because I thought, this is it, you know, I gave it my best shot. I don't think it's going to happen. And you know, several months later, they called me and said, do you want to come to work for CMT and radio? And I did, and I said, yeah. She said, be in my office on Friday. And Monday, I was on air. It was just sort of baptism by fire. But talk about a life-changing experience. That was the opportunity that really showed me what it was like to be on both sides of the business. And that, I think, has benefited my career and just enriched my life in this business more than anything has. So I'm really grateful to them for that.
That's terrific. So then so now here you are. You decided to take a run at it, right? I mean, like in full blast.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, I'm still getting to play both sides of the fence a little bit. I'm so lucky that I get to be a part of the CMT family and still get to be work on air for them and host the Listen Up web series, and it's just it's a wonderful opportunity. I look back at the journey and I wouldn't change anything. There were so many moments, and that's just a part of life where, y'all, you get on a road and you think, I've hit an obstacle or I've hit a detour and it's going to steer me off my course, and it's actually just all a part of your journey, and it's meant to be. And that's exactly what happened to me. CMT was meant to come into my life. I was meant to be there, and now I'm back and still working with them and able to pursue my music career as well. And I really feel like the luckiest person in the world. I really do.
So that's outstanding. So where do we go from here?
Okay, so I mentioned during the show that I had the incredible fortune earlier this year of taking some time off and going over to Australia to tour with a dear friend of mine, Chad Mason, who's one of my favorite singer-songwriters, and he's from Melbourne, Australia, and he released his album over there, and I got to open with him. His wife is my best friend, and we all we're all housemates here in Nashville, and it was an amazing experience. I almost feel like the next step of my musical journey sort of launched over there this year because I took all this new music that I played tonight that Nashville hasn't really heard, and I sort of debuted it, if you will, over there. And just having that reaction over there and being blessed by the reaction we got with it today was really fantastic. And so that's the plan, is to use that as a springboard, keep moving forward, get that music out this year, and just keep on trucking and just hit the road. Hit the road, Jack. That's what we're gonna do.
That's the thing to do.
That's what we're gonna do.
So you're gonna push it down in Australia too, right?
Absolutely.
You got a market down
Absolutely.
there, maybe.
We made some really great contacts and wonderful friends over with Triple R Radio over there, and some of the venues that we played, and they just could not be more gracious and more open and warm, and I just really felt lucky and loved and blessed and accepted. So we're definitely going to do that, and then work on that here as well, especially in my home area, in the southeast area. So like I said, it's going to be a good year. Still doing some, still with the CMT family, and still being able to pursue music. I sometimes feel like I don't deserve that opportunity. I really feel lucky.
Well,
to be able to do both, because it's really hard.
Yeah, but you worked for it and you're there, so that's a good thing.